Welcome, Warrior. This is Walt, your wizard guide by your side on your adventure in Infinite, the fitness fantasy RPG. Today, I'm excited to dive deep into the developer notes for our new Mythic Update version 3.9.0. This is a massive update. 8 years in the making, we haven't enhanced our skill system, which is the biggest highlight to this update in 8 years. So excited to dive deep into the RPG gamification that we are now adding to the fitness app experience to fully immerse you into the Infinite Fitness Fantasy RPG journey that you can be going on inside the world that we created for you. Before we dive in, if you want to play Infinite, feel free to head into the description below where you can visit our website. You can join our bronze tier completely for free, and you'll unlock access to Adventure, where you can choose either between our 3 realms, which are our game modes: the Dungeon, Academy, and the Sanctum. From there, you can create your own warrior avatar based on your training style class, fitness goal mastery, experience rank, and play style role. And you can also customize your own plan based on your individual goals, needs, and lifestyle. So feel free to grab all that information at our website linked below. But let's dive into the details, shall we? So in this update, version 3.9.0, it's a major overhaul to the skill system in Infinite, and it aims to streamline player experience by enhancing skill progression, which is one of the most important aspects of skill development, deepening the RPG elements of the game. This update includes the consolidation of existing skills, the introduction of new unlockable skills, and a comprehensive enhancement of skill details to better align with player progression. Overall, the structure has been refined to ensure that the journey through Infinite remains challenging, rewarding, and immersive. Those 3 areas are the most important: challenging, rewarding, and immersive. Also, we wanted to focus on streamline as another key word for this update, and simplicity with depth. We are an RPG, and we draw a lot of inspiration from RPGs like Diablo, Dungeons and Dragons, Final Fantasy, Elder Scrolls, World of Warcraft, and all these other different games. And what we love about RPGs is the amount of depth, but with depth comes complexity, and the goal for this update is to streamline it, make it simple, but also include enough depth for the hardcore players to really immerse themselves into the RPG mechanics and systems that we built into Infinite. Now, first section of this update notes: skill consolidation and naming simplification. So the big thing is we wanted to consolidate skills, and as you can see here, 10 skills that we previously had separated entries for, each from level 1 to level 10, are now consolidated into a single unified skill entries for each one of these 10 skills. So instead of having 10 levels for 10 skills, which we had essentially 100 different skill entries in our system, we now consolidated that into each individual skill. So now levels 1 through 10 are in one skill, and now we only have 10 entries. This is so big, just to make you as the player, make your experience better when it comes to managing and tracking your progress as well as leveling up your skills. Prior, we had the warrior player either sharing their progress with their wizard guide if they are in our Sanctum realm, or sharing their progress inside of our official Infinite group in order to upgrade skills, which means that we had to manually go in and for all warrior players, we had to manually go in and update your particular profile in our fitness app with your updated skills, which was very challenging for us, very time consuming, and also was an extra unnecessary step for you as the warrior player. Other than that, we simplified the skill names, primarily by removing the level and action requirements from the titles. This results in a cleaner, more intuitive interface, allowing players to quickly identify skills without unnecessary complexity. Again, we wanted to reduce the complexity. It's like, hey, here's the skill. There you go. We don't have the name, we don't have the level, we don't have the details and the actions required in the name. We moved all of that to our new skill description area, which I'll dive deeper into in a moment. So a little bit of quality of life changes, and a little bit more quality of life for you as the warrior player and us as your guides. But now let's get into the nitty gritty here. New unlockable skills. So we introduced 6 new common rarity skills, 2 new uncommon rarity skills, and 2 new rare rarity skills. Starting with meal logging, which is logging your meals in the fitness app using our alchemy tracker. Then it's protein precision, which is hitting your protein goals on a consistent basis. Then it's step precision, which is hitting your step count goal as a skill. Then water precision, if you can see the pattern behavior with precision skills, it's hitting your water goal. We then have fasted cardio, which is performing cardio in a fasted state, which is consuming no calories. And then lastly, for common rarity skills, meal photos. And this is taking a photo of your meal inside of our alchemy nutrition tracker. And these are basically basic foundational skills that can be developed, and quite often than not, you can generate a tremendous amount of progress and results just with common rarity skills. The meal logging alone, it's challenging for a lot of warriors, but if you really take the time to develop this skill, because that's what it is, it's a skill, and with every skill there's tediousness and there's a little bit of grinding, but if you try to implement it the way that we are trying to teach you inside of Infinite, with a little bit more of an RPG type of approach, it makes the experience less tedious, way more results driven, and just much easier to develop than trying to do it on your own and trying to develop the mental skill sets to develop the skill as well. So those are the common rarity skills. Now let's dive into uncommon rarity, shall we? 2 skills, plain and simple, boost skills, which are for sleep and step, and it's essentially skills which every single level requires a different, more challenging action to complete the skill. For example, level 1 starts off with 6 hours of sleep for a specific amount of completion percentage for the month for uncommon rarity skills. And once you hit level 2, that goes to 6.5 hours with a higher percentage of completion for the month, and so on and so on. So you can't level up the skill until you fulfill the requirements for upgrading that skill for that level. And I'll share an example a little bit later as we dive deeper into it. And the same thing goes for steps. You can start at 3,000 steps, then go to 4,500 and 6,000 depending on the level, and you upgrade the skill through completion percentage for the month. And of course, we start off easy in the lower levels, and then of course you progressively get more and more challenging as you level up the skill. And then lastly, the rare skills. These are the high impact abilities. These are the ones that require a little bit more greater effort but have a lot more greater reward. And the first of which is app routine, which is just simply signing into the app. Believe it or not, this skill can literally define your long-term progress inside Infinite. Literally, the more that you use the app, the better the results that you get. And this is through over almost a decade of online and mobile app experience gathering data from our warrior players, even prior to Infinite's creation. So really interesting app routine, rare skill. Then mini bike is another one, which is simply you could go on Amazon and find one. It's these pedals that you could just basically just use your legs, and that's it. It's not a full-on bike. It's just literally the pedal. Imagine the pedals of the bike that you could put on the floor. And this recently is a new skill even to me. After doing this for almost 15 years, a recent warrior shared this with me, and this was how they were able to lose 20 plus pounds, which is simply by just using the mini bike while they were gaming. So, fun fact, mini bike skill, it's a rare skill, but powerful, powerful skill, and it also can be challenging if you've never used one before, if you've never used an app like Infitnite before, and so on. So, big changes when it comes to introducing these skills because they are, one, are different when it comes to rarities. We're introducing rarities into our skills now, and rarities can go on to a lot higher than rare, which, let's dive a little bit deeper into some more of the skill details. So the enhanced skill details and structure. So to provide a more comprehensive understanding of each skill and streamline the progression experience, several key changes have been made. Number one, information relocation. Mentioned this before. We restructured the naming of the skill so that the skill details and specific action requirements are moved from the skill names to the skill details section, which is really, really important to providing more information for you as a warrior player on the functionality of each skill, while also being able to access detailed information all in one place rather than just the name. Big from a simplicity standpoint. New attributes. This is big. So mentioned before the rarity. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the rarity system that we have built into our skills. So the rarity of a skill is determined by a combination of its complexity, impact on gameplay, integration with other skills, accessibility, strategic value, and functionality. Skills that are more complex have a greater impact on gameplay, integrate with other skills effectively, are harder to obtain, and hold significant strategic value are assigned a higher rarity. This system ensures that each skill's rarity aligns with its role, significance within the game, providing clear milestones and goals for players to strive for. This is big, just like in any RPG, right? When you unlock that ultra rare weapon, or you unlock that new skill that's of higher rarity, and that our rarity system, along with our level progression system with our skills, just makes the experience so much more fulfilling. It gives you milestones and goals to shoot for, and it gives you a path of progression for skills instead of just being like, do the skill over and over again, right? And we'll get into much deeper into how we even expand upon that even further with our effects. But skill trees, if you don't know, we have 3 skill trees in Infitnite: combat, alchemy, and intellect. Combat is the physical aspect of your warrior avatar, alchemy is the nutritional aspect, and intellect is the mental aspect. And we now provide that in the skill description as far as what skill tree that particular skill is assigned to. We then have now different types of skills that we're introducing: core, active, and passive skills, which basically helps you as the player understand its role within the overall strategy of implementing that skill. A lot of the skills that we introduced previously here are all active skills. In the future, look out for how we are incorporating core skills and passive skills in the future. But we're putting our focus on active skills because that's what drives the most results, right? Things that you are actively doing and the action that you're taking on a day-to-day basis. We then have cooldown. Just like in any RPG you've played, every skill has a cooldown. We have a real-life cooldown with the skills that you have as far as receiving the effects of that skill. So this is displayed inside of the skill description, and it reflects how long the primary effect lasts, ensuring balanced gameplay. We then have unlock requirements for skills. Skills are now automatically unlocked. You have to perform specific actions, maybe making specific purchases, like for example the mini bike. If you don't own a mini bike, can't get the mini bike skill, and also achieving certain milestones either during your fitness journey or with other particular skills, because skills are also synergized with one another. There are higher rarity versions of different skills that help with your overall progression on your fitness journey, and so on, which is super exciting. Then we have effects, which outlines the benefits of the skill at each level. This is super big. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into that, but the big takeaway for effects is that it is a tangible way to understand the benefits of not only using that skill, but wanting to develop the skill and progress and grind with that skill to get better benefits, which is huge. That level of awareness is different than instead of just saying, do fasted cardio. Why? Why? What's the benefit? Do you know the benefit? Do you know the benefits as far as the multiple benefits? What happens when you get from level 1 to level 2 to level 3, right? What happens when you do it more consistently? What other benefits can you gain? How is that going to affect your overall fitness progress? We dive into that inside effects. We then have level progression, which details the specific requirements needed to upgrade the skill through its levels from level 1 to level 10. Again, I'll dive a little bit deeper into that, but something I will add is it's based on the rarity of the skill as far as the progression path. Each rarity has its own level progression path, but then is unique to that particular skill, which I'll show an example in a moment. Then, last but not least, level unlocks. We specify the rewards or the enhancements gained at each level, offering a clear path to mastery, so you know the benefits of what unlocks at each level once you fulfill the requirements in the level progression. So you know exactly what's changing, what's improving, and how your journey is getting better. Now let's dive into a little bit deeper into those progression pathways, which is something else that we incorporate as far as the skill progression changes and difficulty curve. Now this is big. The skill progression system in Infinite is structured across different rarities from common to mythic, each requiring increasingly challenging upgrade requirements. This structure ensures that skills are unique and build upon similar skills, offering a variety of challenges suited to different objectives and gameplay strategies. So this is big, big, big. It's not just coming out with new skills and then adding descriptions. It is literally changing our whole entire progression path for every single skill based on rarity and so much more. And let's dive deep into the different rarities. So now we have rarities from common to mythic. Common skills, the pathway is total completion, so how many times you complete the skill is going to be the primary way for you to level up the skill. And this basically reinforces basic habits and activities. Common skills are simple, they're widely applicable, and serve as the foundation for more complex skills within a skill tree. Uncommon skills are about completion percentage, which involves a higher degree of planning or consistency, which often requires specialized focus or situational use. Uncommon skills encourage players to refine and optimize their gameplay strategy, so you may need to come into it with a little bit more of strategy. It's not just checking it off, doing a simple task like a common skill might be. This might actually take some planning, some preparation, and it might take a little bit more time as well to actually effectively apply the skill and fulfill the upgrade requirements to level up the skill, which is about completion percentage per month. So it's about monthly completion percentage, which means you have a whole entire month to work towards upgrading your skill. But if you don't plan and prepare about executing and using that skill, then you might have to wait a whole another month. You have to do a whole another month of work in order to upgrade that skill. So that's what makes it slightly more challenging than the common skills. But then we have the rare skills, which is all about streak-based progression. Some characteristics are high commitment skills that demand daily discipline. These skills are more specialized, building upon common and uncommon skills, and offer significant rewards for sustained engagement. This is huge. Prior to this update, every skill was based on streak-based progression, which a lot of feedback from a lot of our warriors was that it was too difficult for some people, especially doing certain particular things that were far more demanding. Doing that on consistently, there were some warriors who were at level 3, level 4, or even higher with their skills that required 90-day, 120-day streaks in order to upgrade to levels 5, 6, 7 plus, which in some circumstances was extremely difficult. So we instead obviously included our rarity system with our different rarities and then all these different progression pathways, so that the more difficult skills have that more difficult pathway, and then the easier skills have a little bit of an easier pathway, which is a huge transition into the experience for all warriors regardless of your experience level. So you might be thinking, if you're a complete beginner, you don't really have a lot of skills or developed a lot of skills recently, you can rest assured that the common skills are going to be the best entry point into developing your skills. But if you're more experienced, if you've been playing the fitness game for a long period of time, you can now be challenged with consistency. You can challenge your discipline, consistency, your focus, your determination, your perseverance by unlocking these higher rarity skills like the rare skill, and then focusing on these streak-based progressions so that you can get more rewards and also maintain engagement, which is it's very high for the experienced warriors who have these rare skills. Then we have epic, legendary, and mythic skills. Not going to be diving too deep into this, but something that you can know is that the pathways for this are now a combination of the first 3 rarities. Epic skills are a combination of total completions and completion percentage. So it's a combination of common and uncommon together. Legendary is a combination of streak-based and completion percentage. So basically uncommon and rare skills. And then mythic, the ultimate skill rarity, is a combination of streak-based, which is rare, and total completions, which is common. So very difficult. Currently, can't share much about the epic, legendary, and mythic skills yet, but just know that each one of these rarities increases in challenge. And as of right now, the common, uncommon, and rare skills can be challenging depending on your experience level. And as we grow Infinite and as we grow our player base with a lot more warriors like yourself that are either more experienced, less experienced, it's going to evolve our skill system even more. So super excited for that. And that's it. That is the deep dive details of our new Mythic Update version 3.9. I hope you enjoyed the deep dive into our skill system. If this is your first time diving deep into Infinite or even learning about our skill system, I hope this inspired a positive connection to fitness and RPGs. If you're a fan of RPGs, you will be at home at Infinite. The fitness app experience, which includes all of these skill updates, is just a fraction of the RPG experience that we have in Infinite. We have a whole entire game app, which is really the true RPG experience with level progression, primary level progression, and then we have ascension level progression. We have quests, XP, and challenges, achievements, so much more that we've added recently in the past 6 months or so with our recent updates. So if you want to dive deeper into these recent updates, feel free to visit our website and go into the archives where you can dive deep into every single update, all of the details, all the specifics, so that you're completely in the loop and you are aware of every single change and optimization and improvement that we include into Infinite. And of course, if you enjoyed this breakdown, you want to see more breakdowns, and you want to see more fitness and gaming content, then consider hitting the subscribe button below and liking this video so other warriors like yourself can discover Infitnite and transform their mind, body, and spirit. And as always, this is Walt, your wizard guide by your side, and conquer the day, warrior.